Hello, and my name is Titanfall Dukins, and I am addicted to Titanfall. It's blooming Titanfall, it's everywhere, isn't it? I can't even drive down Internet Road without somebody talking about Titanfall this, Titanfall that, videos here, videos there. The hype train is full. There's no more room in the inn. And to be honest, deservedly so. I've played a ton of the game now in the closed beta, and let me tell you, the hype train is real. And it's coming to a time near you. This game is bloody awesome. Now, I've played the game for around 15 hours or so in the closed beta, and I have literally been smashing it since I got my key. But it's important to remember that my thoughts are based on beta gameplay, so some things can improve, change, or be altered. Even still, the game is extremely polished, so I feel that my thoughts can easily carry forward to the full release. I'll be pretty surprised if you haven't heard of Titanfall by now, but basically it's an FPS game by the original founders of Infinity Ward who worked on Call of Duty. They left to form their own new studio called Respawn Entertainment, and Titanfall is their first game. It is set in the near future and allows players, or pilots as they're called, to command giant mech robots called Titans. One of the best features of the game is the player's movement. Players have jetpacks to enhance their movement and enable them to double jump, as well as being able to wall run along walls, meaning players can travel far distances really fast, and trust me, when you nail a wall run, it makes you feel like a god. Every pilot has an anti-Titan weapon equipped to make sure they have a weapon to combat the Titans if they encounter one in battle, and trust me, they will. In the background is some gameplay that may even be the very first 6v6 in Titanfall, of sorts. My Battlefield 4 team was playing in a party when we came across another Battlefield 4 team in a party playing Titanfall, so technically, this is the first PCW in Titanfall history. I'm just saying. Now, there was some uproar on the interwebs when it was announced that Titanfall will be limited to 6 human players per team. People were angry, it was only going to be 6 players, but think about it. 6 players on each team, 12 in the server, who can all call in a Titan. You can also put your Titan on auto mode and run around yourself, which means that in theory, at any given time there can be 12 Titans on the map, with some of those pilots on the ground running around as well. You start increasing that to, let's say, 12v12, and all of a sudden you have 24 Titans on the map at any given point, which is clearly too much. I think overall 6v6 is perfect. It is helped by the AI the game has. Grunts will run around and act as players, capping flags and doing various things. They're easily killed, but they do serve as XP, and they're also a way of keeping you always in the action if you haven't seen an enemy player or Titan, which to be honest, is never really the case. The game does have a COD feeling to it, the way the weapons fire, even down to the menu systems, but the game does have its own flavour, so it is definitely not a COD clone, I can assure you of that. It's not even using any engine that the COD series had, which actually makes the fact that the game feels fairly similar a massive achievement. It is actually running on a massively modified version of the Source engine, the engine that brings you Counter-Strike, Left 4 Dead. They took that engine, they modified it beyond recognition to use it for exactly what they wanted. Be assured though, this does not feel like any Source game at all. In fact, unless you know it's on the Source engine, you would never guess it. As you can imagine though, with it being on Source, the graphics are good, but they're not mind-blowing. They serve their purpose and the art design, but that's about it. In the beta, there were 3 game modes you could play, but of course there'll be many more on release. Attrition is basically team deathmatch, hardpoint is domination with 3 flags to capture, and the last Titan standing starts every player in a Titan, and the team to have the last Titan standing at the end wins. It's first to 4 rounds, and it's really good fun. So quickly on esports, could this game be an esports game? Well, more than likely, if it was ever to be an esports game, it would be heavily pushed on Xbox One, but I think it could have its place on PC as well. There are some good parts to this discussion, but there are also some big problems as well. It could be an amazing esports game. It's super fast paced, which I love. The Titans add a new element to the game, and already the game feels pretty well balanced and polished, which is a huge upside. I think if I was sat at home watching the game of Titanfall, I wouldn't be bored. I think there are a number of game modes that could easily be used for esports, but unfortunately right now, the game won't ever be an esports title, and I will tell you why. Firstly, there is no spectator mode at all, which, considering the engine that the game is built on has been in the code, that is amazingly surprising. Of course, as I said earlier, the engine is heavily modified, so it isn't really just a case of plug and play with the spectator mode, but regardless, it is a massive disappointment. That is just one of the problems. Secondly, there are no private servers at all, or at least there won't be at launch. The game runs off servers in the cloud, and there is no server browser on PC. Instead, you are match made into a game and put in a lobby like you would be on Xbox. The problem is you cannot get two parties in the same lobby to play against each other. I am sure that is something that will be added after launch, but at launch it won't be there. On PC there are a few other problems as well. Firstly, it is limited to 60 FPS unless you unlock VSync, which then can give you weird mouse lag. Why on earth it's limited to 60 FPS makes no sense, but of course it is kind of a console port, so that may be why. Also, the mouse sensitivity apparently is linked to your FPS, so if you have an FPS hit, which is possible with many Titans on screen, your mouse can feel a little bit different. Certainly not ideal, but hopefully that is something that will be sorted. Overall, I do love this game. I have played it non-stop, and I fully intend to play it tons when it comes out. I hope you guys are all having a blast playing it as well. Like and subscribe, guys, and as always, I will catch you on the next one.